Okay, so tech. This is the brand new. It's the first, right? It's the first graphic novel from Vincenzo Natali. That's right. You know what I mean? The guy behind classic films such as, Splice and Cube, right? He's done a graphic novel. And when I first heard this, I was just like, what? He's done a graphic. Huh. Interesting. But when you look at what he's done in the past, like, you know what I mean? He was the storyboarder for Ginger Snaps, right? He's storyboarded all his films. And when you realize that, you're like, oh, right? I mean, this is the next progression, right? If you're storyboarding, you're essentially, doing a comic book for every fucking movie, right? All the panels, that's the layout, So yeah, I was like, whoa, okay. Now it is published via Encyclopocalypse. I feel that's how you pronounce it, Encyclopocalypse Publications. It's 200 pages. We do have a soft cover, a hard cover, and you can get it on Comixology, Kindle, all of that good stuff. Now, the gist is this, right? This is the copy off the website. What would humans do if they got their hands on alien technology? Answer: they would exploit it for profit. In this debut graphic novel, tech filmmaker Vincenzo Natali envisions a not too distant future in which mankind has cracked the code for alien engineering. Business is booming, but it's a dangerous occupation. A lowly courier, Shel, would have abandoned it long ago if not for her daughter's expensive medical treatments. Unbeknownst to Shel, the same secret she's peddling on the black market are the key to living the life she so desperately yearns for. Yeah. It's 200 pages, right? And we have a foreword from William Gibson, which, again, like, there's so many parallels there, right? Because Neuromancer, Vincenzo, back in the day, he got hired to direct a film version. Never came to pass. But he then worked with Gibson on The Peripheral, right, that came out on Amazon. So, yeah. And Gibson's work was always a big influence on Vincenzo. So it's interesting. Now, this graphic novel, I really friggin' enjoyed it, right? I'm a fan of sci-fi. I'm a fan of good stories. But this one, it felt like we're getting some things that we don't necessarily always have, in a story. It's the way this technology is utilized, right? And the fact that it's different, it's never the same, which makes it intriguing, The visuals, because Vincenzo does it all, right? He drew it, he wrote it, all of that jazz. And they have a feel about them, right? When you look at them, you think of stuff like Blade Runner. Like, I definitely thought of, like, the last Blade Runner, is it 2049? Something like that. You know what I'm talking about. But that came to mind, right? It's funny, that came to mind when I was listening to Delicate Machine as well. But, those kind of things, it's got that kind of vibe. But also, you think of stuff like techno priests, from humanoid publishing, the Incal, right, the White Lemur, just all of those like European comics. It's got that visual kind of elegance about it, and it's very interesting. Just all of these depictions, just the story, right? She's doing this thing to kind of create a better life for her and her daughter, right? It's all very bleak. These bleak cities, these domains, bars, just all of this kind of stuff. We have corruption. I mean, it's the future, right? You might have spaceships, but people be people. People still corrupt and bullshit. So we have all of that. Now the story opens up with Shel and her friend, her partner, right, on this mission. So we see, we get this glimpse of this tech working in these different ways, right? And the ramifications of this mission then lead us into the greater story. So it's fascinating. We're not pulling any punches, right? It's gritty, it's kind of fucked up, right? Which is all good. And there's things going down that definitely, I'd say, have you thinking, right? Definitely, you're like, wait, what does that mean? All right, what would that do? Is that possible? Right, so yeah, it's really, really frigging good, people. It's really frigging good. There's not a whole... It's kind of black and white, but it's not black and white, right? There's some color, some we get some blues, some yellows, different hues that again, right, like the reds of police sirens and that kind of thing, which, I don't know, it does this kind of visual trick of like really intensifying a scene, that's what it kind of does. It brings that urgency, that vibe, right? The panic, the fear, all of that kind of stuff. It helps bring it to life, right? Which is a different thing, right? And I think that's why comics are so fascinating, because, it's so different to TV and film, and the ways in which you can connect with your audience, like the size of the panel, right? The shape of it, right? How you're utilizing that space, all of these things, and the color, all of these things help bring it to life. We have flashbacks to early days, Shel as a kid, so we do that, right? Although with this, it's not like we're being told, okay, so in the year blah blah blah, this happened, which then led to this and blah blah blah. We're not fed all of that information, but you have just enough to understand the ramifications of this, the importance of this tech, the dangers of it, right? Why people would do certain things for it. All of that is very evident, which is very good. Because sometimes with these stories, like, you have these parts of it that are fantastic, but then there's these weird holes that you're just like, wait, how does that make any sense if this or that, like, what are we doing? You know, so we have that, and then people, the end. Oh, I mean, we finish on this point where you're like, wait, what? What is going on here? Right? It definitely feels like there should be more. And Vincenzo did say, I think he said he envisioned it as a trilogy. So, yeah. Hopefully we will get more. Right? I guess it's a time thing. You know, if this is successful, I just think anyone that likes his work, you can see that same creativity here. Right? When you watch The Cube and we're like, wait, what is this? You know, because we hadn't had anything like that before. You know, I think that imagination has been brought forth with tech. So it makes it so much fun to read. So much fun to read. And as I said, you want more. So I cannot doubt, right, that people are vibing with this. You know, as I said, look, there's a soft cover, a hard cover, both different images, both very nice, and perfect for me. You can get it on Comixology and Kindle, you know, so you can read it on your tablet, your phone, whatever, however you read those things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, people, we've got the links on the website on how you can get your own copy, right? Otherwise, you know where you get your comics. Definitely go check this out, because boy, it is very fucking good. It's very good, you know? So yeah, Tech by Vincenzo Natali from Encyclopolis Publishing is out right now.